When Sam Elliot famously called the hit show Yellowstone a soap opera in a cowboy hat, Hollywood was stunned. But was it just arrogance, or was it grief? We see the man carved from granite. We hear the iron voice. But what if that voice wasn't just angry? What if it was protecting something? Sam Elliot is the guardian of a code that believes authenticity is sacred. He's a man who watched the craft he loves, the real West, get replaced by polished boots and perfect lighting. He's the last man standing, and the weight of being the only one left who remembers, that is the vulnerability he hides behind that stoic swagger. But what most people don't know is this: his code wasn't born in a vacuum. It was forged by watching one man, the master, the 94-year-old titan who set the standard Sam would measure his entire life against, the man who proved the code was real, Robert Duvall. Their worlds are not just similar, they're intertwined. In 1993, they stood on the same hallowed ground in the film Gettysburg. Elliott, the gritty General Buford; Duvall, the godlike Robert E. Lee. They were two titans honoring a history that was real. This wasn't acting, it was a silent acknowledgement.
To Sam, Duvall's legendary performance as Gus McCrae in Lonesome Dove isn't a role. It's the gospel. It's everything Yellowstone isn't. It's the raw, unfiltered, heartbreaking truth of the West. While other actors play Cowboy, Robert Duvall simply is. A legendary casting director once said of Duvall, "You don't direct Bob, you just watch him." This is the standard. Sam doesn't hate the new Hollywood, he just misses the substance that Duvall represents. And this is where everything changes. Respecting a 94-year-old master like Duvall is easy. It confirms Sam's entire worldview. But the real test, the one that would shake Sam's fortress to its foundation, wasn't a legend from the past. It was a phone call. A call from the last person on Earth Sam Elliot ever expected. A pretty boy from the new generation. The very symbol of the new Hollywood he often criticized. And what that man did would change Sam's mind about everything.
The voice on the phone was not a peer. It wasn't an old-world craftsman. It was Bradley Cooper. To Sam Elliot, this name represented everything that was wrong with the new Hollywood. A world that valued image over soul. Cooper was the A-list, the sexiest man alive, the symbol of a generation Sam believed had traded grit for gloss. He was, in Sam's mind, everything Robert Duvall was not. He expected a slick corporate pitch. He expected a disrespectful, lowball offer for a generic, grizzled old man role. He expected to say no before Cooper even finished his sentence. But that's not what happened. The voice on the other end wasn't arrogant. It was nervous. Cooper didn't just offer the role of Bobby, the older brother, in A Star is Born. He asked for a meeting, a personal meeting, not with agents, not with studio heads, just him and Sam. Sam was skeptical, but his curiosity was piqued. The meeting was set. And what happened in that meeting would shake Sam Elliott's entire code. Bradley Cooper walked in. Sam was ready for the pretty boy. But the man who sat opposite him was a director. He was a student. He was a man obsessed, not with himself, but with the craft. Cooper didn't talk about fame or money or the script. He talked about sound. He talked about authenticity. He then confessed something that stunned Sam into silence. Cooper told Sam that he had already been working with a voice coach for months. His goal? To lower his own voice, to find that gravel, that rhythm, that unforgiving Western tone. Why? Because Cooper's entire character, Jackson Maine, was based on Sam Elliot. He didn't just want Sam to be in the movie. He wanted Sam to be the ancestor of the movie. But wait, the most shocking part is yet to come. Cooper, nervous, then played a recording. It was a snippet of dialogue. Sam listened, his eyes narrowing. He heard that deep, iconic drawl. He heard himself. And then Cooper admitted, No, that's me. He had spent months trying to become Sam Elliot. He did it not as an impersonation, but as an act of respect. He did the work. He honored the code. In that moment, Sam Elliott's entire fortress collapsed. This wasn't the new Hollywood he despised. This was the old Hollywood he missed. This was work ethic. This was respect. This was craft. Sam Elliott himself, recalling that moment, said, "I was moved by it." He's the real deal. He didn't find a pretty boy. He found a master. He realized, perhaps for the first time, that the code wasn't dead. It wasn't just being protected by the 94-year-old masters like Duvall. It was being reborn in the hands of the new generation. Sam took the role, and that respect became the soul of the film. He had been proven wrong. He was no longer the last man standing. He finally had an ally. But this revelation, this unexpected respect from the future, it only made him look harder at the present. It made him think of the other men like him, the men who started with him, the other mustachioed icon who walked the same path in the same genre at the same time. A man who should have been his greatest ally, but was perhaps his greatest rival. If you'd like to support the research we do to uncover deep stories like this one, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support means we can continue to bring these untold truths to light. The man who should have been his rival was Tom Selleck. Hollywood loves a rivalry, and the press desperately tried to manufacture one. The logic was simple. They were two sides of the same coin: the brawn, the mustache, the voice. In the 80s and 90s, they were the twin pillars of American masculinity. One had to be the alpha. The world wasn't big enough for both. The pressure was immense. Every interview, every casting choice, every magazine cover, it was Sam versus Tom. Hollywood wanted them to hate each other. It needed them to, because in a world of fleeting fame, two old lions couldn't possibly share the same territory. Right? Wrong. The media, in its rush to create a feud, missed the one thing that mattered. They missed the truth. And the truth is this: while the world was busy comparing them, Sam and Tom had already defined their relationship decades earlier, long before the peak of their fame. They met on the dusty, grueling set of the 1979 miniseries, The Sacketts. But what happened on that set defined their code for life. They were young. They were hungry, but they weren't different. Sam looked at Selleck and didn't see a rival. He saw a mirror. He saw a man who valued the work, not the glamour. He saw a man who showed up on time, knew his lines, and respected the crew. He saw a man who, like him, would rather be on a ranch than a red carpet. Sam Elliott, a man who is notoriously private, later said of Selleck, "He's just a great guy, solid." We were two actors trying to get a job. To Sam, Tom Selleck was the opposite of the Hollywood machine. While other actors drifted and changed, Selleck endured. He didn't chase trends. He built a family. He ran his ranch. He honored the craft. He was, like Sam, a man holding the line. The rivalry was a complete fabrication by a world that cannot understand a code built on mutual respect rather than competitive ego. Sam wasn't just respecting Tom Selleck, he was seeing himself. Duvall was the master he looked up to. Cooper was the student who surprised him. But Selleck was the brother who stood beside him. But this is the secret nobody understands. Finding allies in the masters, the new guard, and his peers, it proved Sam's code was right. But Sam Elliott didn't create that code. It was given to him, forged for him, by the one person who was there before the voice, before the mustache, before the fame. The one person who saw him when he was a nobody. The architect of The Last Cowboy was the first lady in his life. Her name is Catherine Ross, and the story of how they met is the secret to everything. It was 1969, the set of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. She was Catherine Ross, the radiant Oscar-nominated lead actress. He was no one. He was card player number one, a glorified extra, a shadow. He didn't have a single line. He just watched her
He was so intimidated by her talent, her fame, and her light that he didn't speak a single word to her for the entire production. He was the shadow. She was the sun. For Sam, she wasn't just a star. She was an ideal. She represented a level of the craft he hadn't even earned the right to attempt yet. He went back to his life, struggling, taking bit parts, trying to build a career, all while holding the memory of her as the absolute standard. He was the gruff, unknown actor. She was the unattainable symbol of true Hollywood. And then, 9 years later, the impossible happened. The phone rang. A horror movie called The Legacy. He got the lead role. He walked onto the set in London, and there she was. His co-star, the woman he had been too terrified to even look at, was now the woman he had to act opposite. The power dynamic was still there. He was just a working actor. She was still Catherine Ross. He was terrified. He expected arrogance. He expected the Hollywood machine he was already learning to distrust. He expected to be dismissed. But he didn't find a star. He found a partner. He found a woman who was kind, professional, and completely grounded. She didn't see him as less than. She saw him as a peer. She didn't see the struggling actor. She saw the man. She saw the code that was already forming in him, and she respected him. But the real secret isn't that they fell in love. This secret is what she taught him. Catherine Ross taught Sam Elliot the most important lesson of his life, that you can be a superstar and still have integrity, that you can be at the absolute peak of the industry and not be fake, that craft and fame didn't have to be enemies. She was the missing piece. Robert Duvall, the master, showed him the goal. Bradley Cooper, the student, showed him the future. Tom Selleck, the brother, showed him he wasn't alone. But Catherine Ross, she was the proof. She was the living, breathing proof that his entire code, his belief in truth, humility, and hard work wasn't just some angry fantasy. It was real. Sam Elliott's code wasn't forged in anger at the new Hollywood. It was forged in love, love for the craft, and love for the woman who embodied it. She isn't just his wife of 40 years. She is the keeper of his code. She is the code. The last cowboy was never really the last. He just had the first lady by his side all along. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into Hollywood's hidden stories. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload. See you in the next one.